Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to Team Goodman. So we're gonna be sharing our homeschooling routine today, and this is the reason why I have been busy a lot lately, and I haven't uploaded longer videos or streamed a lot because we're kind of like busy with the homeschooling. So we're gonna share our routine while we're homeschooling. I hope to see you all here in the chat and to catch up with you all. Hi, hello, Edens212 Edens. How are you? Thank you for dropping by.
Mouse ko din, manid lang.
I don't know. It's there in the table. Get me the other tablet. The one that has a cover. And sit down here. I'm gonna check your answers. Did you record already? Your grades.
Not grade.
The grades a while ago that I just checked.
Yes?
Mm.
Ambok na taon, guys. Apit na lang.
That's why we have to do Taibo again.
Taibo.
How much is your score?
15.
15. Mm. With the lesson 2. Let me see. Lesson 2.
Good lagi, Diyo naman ko nababok mo.
Hurry up na. Read your answers.
Magabot, tas balikan. Lumat mapagabot. Buka.
Pagabot man, there's no such thing as word as pagabot.
Pagabot.
You gotta cut off your hair.
Panggunting. Paggunting.
Hurry up na. Here. In your notebook naman daw your research last time. I'm gonna check it first and quit speaking iligay nun. Because we're studying.
Ang pabayad sila.
Ikaw ang ginaanuhan ko kay ikaw ang gatuon.
Ay, kita ko na yun ni.
Oh, read. What's the first word?
Snooze and short naps. Start to move or jump.
Wait.
As in...
Nanay lang, geta na lang. May i-check ko ano. So what is snooze? Snooze now.
Snooze now na short nap. A short sleep. Start a verb to move or jump as in surprise or fear. Fetch verb to go after and bring back. Demand verb to claim as a right. Feeble adjective lacking in strength or endurance. Protest verb to disagree with someone or object to something. Firm adjective solid and not soft. Make adverb quiet and timid. Brace verb to make strong, firm, or steady. Supreme adjective highest in rank, power, or authority. Pant verb to to breathe hard or quickly. Giggle, to laugh with repeated short high childlike sound. Mislead, verb, to cause someone to believe something that is not true. Sheepish, adjective, like a sheep. Lain na siya, pero lain ko to.
Adjective.
As in being meek or shy.
That's what it means.
Mm-mm.
What do you mean by sheepish?
Mumble, to
Being meek or shy.
Mhm.
Sheepish. Mumble. What
Mumble,
is
verb,
mumble?
to speak softly so that words are not clear.
Correct. So, na-plus na that. That's 15.
One by one, many, many, mew, mew. Me, 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 me.
Next. Let me check the other. Answer. No, get your vocabulary because I'm gonna check it now.
The what?
The one that you answered yesterday.
Oh, here.
Oh. Sub letter B. Let me see.
Which word relates to something that is unexpected? Startle. Which word relates to embarrassment? Sheepish. Which word may result in a mistake? Mislead. Which word describes a strong statement? Firm. Which word does not involve one's voice? Giggle.
No.
Mumble.
No.
Wala.
Which word does not involve one's voice? So when you do a protest, it involves voice, right? When you do a mumble, it involves voice. So when you giggle, it has voice also does not. So it is
Wala
fetch.
pa gani. Ginamba man tanan.
Hindi. Sala ka na niya.
Wala.
Next.
May sana ako nga try mo. Ginanong mo, ginwaste mo. So two words which have either similar or opposite meanings. Write the letter S if they are similar, or O if they are opposite. Optional. Use a thesaurus for more synonyms and antonyms for extras A words. Snooze, snap, similar. Fetch, return, similar.
Fetch and return. What is that?
Similar.
No.
Opposite.
What's the meaning of the word fetch? How?
Going and give.
What's the meaning of the word fetch?
To go after something and bring it back. Feeble, weak, similar. Object. Protest, opposite.
No. Object. And your protest. What does it mean?
To argue or object to speak against or complain. Argue siya.
Nag-argue sa gani. Protest gani kag object. It means they are similar.
Opposite ang ila, no? Ila
Ano man say
meaning?
opposite? Either not opposite, it's the same.
Ang ila
Take a look,
meaning?
below the meaning of the word protest.
Ang object ya. Object na siya.
Gani, I object. It means I protest. I disagree. Huh? Protest, to argue or object. So protest and object, it means it has the same meaning. They're similar. So
mumble, shout, upset.
Correct. Write your letter O properly. A minus. 13. What letter is that? C.
C. Wait.
Hi. Hello, Mountain of Inspiration. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for dropping by. After the stream, I will try my best to visit those who visited us in our stream also. The third D, read. It's been so long since I streamed, so I have to catch up to you all also.
The family prayed the rosary to brace themselves for the coming storm.
Correct.
Jesus' crucifixion was the supreme sacrifice. So Bernadette felt feeble because she forgot the catechism answer.
It's not.
Martha took a quick snooze after working long hours at St. Luke's Hospital. Mom said we should speak clearly and not mumble as we say our act of contrition. Our dog Gracie likes to fetch the newspaper. The child began to giggle with joy after the miraculous cure by St. Francis. The young priest was sheepish in his commitment to serve the
So what do you mean by
poor.
sheepish, gani? What is sheepish?
Meek
or shy. So sala na. Number 9.
The phone's ring did startle me from my nap. We are all called to meekly any evils we see around us.
We are called to what? Any evils we see around us. What should we do with the evil around us?
The old man made a demand cry for help.
No. Number 12.
When St. Francis appeared, the wild dog sat and began to pant quietly. All children should be careful not to mislead younger children by bad example. Jesus does not protest but ask that we love him.
Hindi na pagbasa kay sala. Animals would blank in front of St. Francis when he called them. Karon na. Anseri. Ang check ko lang na karon. I'll check it later. Proceed to the puzzle.
Na. Siya nagawa yung yung gitar to.
Yeah.
Katsi mo?
Hindi alay niya.
Ano mo nakita?
Nakita ko lang mo. Hindi dapat problema eh.
Nag-google, nag-search siya na.
Answer.
At most extreme. Supreme.
Diin ka.
Nap.
Supreme. Correct.
Short nap. Snooze. Embarrassed. Sheepish. To cause. To jump suddenly in alarm.
Startle.
Sorry, difficult to move. Firm. To insist or command. Demand. To go after something. Fetch. To make ready to stand against pressure or attack. Brace. To guide in a wrong direction. To lead to misunderstanding.
Mislead.
Mislead. To argue, or object, to speak against or complain. Object. Wait, no.
Where did you write the word?
Protest.
Object mo. There's no such thing as object there. It's protest.
To laugh with high-pitched, silly, or nervous sounds.
Giggle.
Weak.
Feeble.
To be slow or doubtful in acting or deciding. To pause out of uncertainty.
What is that?
Mumble.
Mm-hmm.
Submissively without argument.
Submissively without argument. So what is that?
Meekly. To take quick breaths. Pant.
Pan. Record it. Then get your because you have to check the one that you get. No, get the vocabulary for a while because you have to put a check on the one that you're gonna study next week. You have to for the quiz. I'm gonna give you the quiz next week. So put a check on the word fetch. Fetch. Sheepish. Protest. Supreme. Pant. Demand. Brace.
Balaba naman, kaluoy man sa ako ng
sige na. Kaya mo na. Tapos next week ko man na si H ka na tong this one. I'm gonna check this next week also, ha? Do you understand? Or if you have time tomorrow, kung wala kami ginagawa.
Math.
Last one na sa mata so that we can proceed with the other lessons. We have to proceed with the other lessons. We can't just do mathematics all the time. We have to do the reading.
Have you seen how big the math is?
What's me?
Mas dako
We have to do the reading. We have to finish the reading.
Wow, subong. Wala ka na care sa math. Sa ligid una, care ka kasi kita ko dako. Mas stick that ko sa isa to po.
That's why gani, we have to finish the reading first.
System numeration.
So, what system numeration?
The Roman system does not use place value and it does not use a zero. This makes it harder to use in calculations. You remember the 7 basic symbols of the Roman system are I, 1, V, 5X, 10, L, 50, C, 100, D, 500, M, 1000. The system uses a combination of addition and subtraction. If a smaller numeral comes after a larger numeral, then we add V111, V plus 111
equals 5. This is
5
right?
plus 3 equals 8.
So if the smaller
numeral comes before the larger numeral, then we subtract.
For
1,
example,
5 minus
V here is 5. So you have to subtract it with the I because V comes first. So if the larger numeral comes before if the smaller numeral comes before the larger numeral, what are you going to do? You have to subtract. If the smaller numeral comes after, if it's after the larger, what are you going to do? You have to add.
Addition.
So write each of the following in standard form. Write it in standard form.
166 answer.
So number 1. Correct. About number 2?
24.
Huh? 24. Number 2. Kalagpat. Sabi mo, what is L?
L? 5. 50. Okay. Kita ko yung okay. 50. Tigalak man nga, ado ka,
Finish it until number
69.
So you know how to do it. So let's proceed to the reading.
Ah!
Do that later once I'll be ironing. Kung mag-iron ko later, para may ubrahon ka. Sige na.
Next ka gidyamang naging gingguba mo ako excitement.
Hurry up na. Reading. Do that later.
Kadto to sa laba-laba, no?
Yes, we have to finish it. Hurry up. Do that later once I'll be ironing. So that you have something to do while I'm ironing. Be quiet, Natish. So read A Candle for Christmas, page 237 to 252.
Candle for Christmas. Candle for Christmas.
Just look for the pages, Tish.
My gosh. So many one. 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Oh, it's no longer here,
4,
Sam.
5.
I can't use the gloves right now because we're studying.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, no. Too far na ko. 1, 2,
Sige na, Candle for Christmas. You just have to read it. You don't need to
5,
count it.
5, 6,
Hurry up na pala,
7, wait, 8, ah!
Di, hurry up.
8 kawilag.
Read na. The Ganons.
Wait, mama, question.
Yes.
Ano minito ka? Ano to?
I don't know. Continue.
Wala ka, no?
I don't know. Continue.
I don't know man. Ano ganun, sir, kanina?
About to sa gloves. Sige na, continue na.
May mukhang.
Half ka na. Sige na. The Ganons.
The Ganons lived in a frontier cabin, a little log house on the side of a Pennsylvania mountain.
Continue.
Lapit mo.
Continue.
Wait lang. They thought at the finest house in the world, and there they always lighted a candle for Christmas. The week before Christmas, day after day, in the week before Christmas, as the sky grew gray with clouds, the Gannon children planned that what they would do on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. Father will come home from the trading post on the morning before Christmas. Kate said, We shall be watching for him. We have not seen him for 2 weeks now, said Michael. I wish Father did not have to go so far to work, said John. So far away to work, said John. Maybe we could live near the trading post, said Judy. But the others all shook their heads. Father made this cabin for us, said Kate. We would rather live here. We Mother said. Yes, dear, said Mrs. Gannon. I hope your father can get away from the post early that day. You know, we shall all have a long journey on Christmas morning to hear Mass. Pero may itong bata niya naman.
It's speaking again, Montesh, because we're studying.
Di ka wala pa makot mo. Wala pa makot sa labas ko mo.
Hurry up.
Where shall we go to Mass this year, Mother? Michael asked. The word has come, said his mother, that the priest from Maryland will come to Loyal Hannah, the town near the fort. Loyal Hannah is 20 miles from here, said Michael. I could walk that far, but John and Judy could not. We shall not have to walk that far, his mother told him. Your father has asked Mr. Walker to take us in his sleigh. We need walk only the 4 miles to Walkers. We must get up early, very early,
Very.
because there will be many people to go to confession before mass. How will the priest get there? John wanted to know. He will come on horseback, Mrs. Gannon said. He will ride hundreds of miles through the fields and the woods so that we may have mass.
Mm.
Will he know the way? John asked. I think he will find it. Mrs. Gannon said she was busy getting ready for Christmas. She made trousers and coats for the boys and dresses and cloaks for the girls. She made a raisin bread. She made a fruit cake with dried apples and raisins, which she had brought weeks ago from the trading post. The children helped her as they worked. They talked of Christmas.
Will the
Will
cry?
the Christ child send us gifts this year? John asked his mother. To be sure he will, Mrs. Gannon said. If I am very, very good, will he send me a knife? John asked. Oh, sila naman. And me a dog? Judy asked. I should like a book, said Michael. Kate said nothing. What should you like, Katie? Kate, her mother asked. I should like a little red shawl,
Show.
show, said Kate. A shawl like the one you used to wear when you were a little girl in Ireland.
Ireland.
In Ireland.
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 Mm.
Then she sighed. Perhaps there are no
Shows.
shows like that here in America. If there are any, Mrs. Gannon said, I think the Christ child will see that you get one, Kate dear. Jingle bell, jingle bell,
28
jingle
minutes.
bell rock.
Should we, 2 hours ko lang. Should we write him?
Should we write him, Mother? Judy asked. God always knows what we want, her mother said, and what we should have. He gives it to us. That they were planning the dinner they would have when they came home from mass. Wild turkey, sweet potatoes, the jelly Mrs. Gannon had made from wild berries, the fruit cake when they heard someone rapping on the cabin rapping
On the
rapping on the cabin
cabin
door.
door.
Michael jumped up to open it. An Indian stood outside. Judy ran to her mother, and the other children stared at him in fear. Mrs. Gannon spoke quietly. Come in, Bright Eagle, she said. Bright Eagle is our friend, she told the children. Bright Eagle nodded to them and took from his coat a folded paper, which he gave to Mrs. Gannon. She went to the window and began to read the note. Suddenly, she gave a frightened cry. Is he badly hurt? She asked the Indian, who was warming his hands at the fireplace. Hurt, the Indian said after her. Your father has been hurt, she told the children. There is no one at the trading post to nurse him. He cannot come here, as so I must go to him. She drew the children close. Will you be good, children, while I am away? She asked them. John and Judy, will you do as Michael and Kate tell you? Yes, mother, they said, and brush your hair and say your prayers. Said, yes, mother, they promised. Mrs. Gannon put on her bonnet and
Show.
show. I will come home as soon as I can, dears. She said, pray for your father, pray all the time. How, how long shall you be gone, mother? Kate asked. She tried to keep back her tears, but a big one rolled down her cheek. Shall you be home on Christmas Eve? I do not know, Mrs. Gannon said. She followed Bright Eagle out of the cabin. The children stood watching their mother and the
Go
Indian go
down.
down the trail until they had disappeared from sight.
Mhm.
Then Kate took them back to the cabin. She stood with her back to the door while the other three Ganons looked at her with round, frightened eyes. Apat ka kabili-bili. We will do for each other what Mother was doing for us, she said. We are going to have just the kind of Christmas she wanted us to have. Now we will say the rosary for Father. She knelt by the fire. I believe in God the Father Almighty, she began, creator of heaven and earth. The three went on as the snow began to fall. It fell gently, covering the trees and the little cabin on the mountain with a soft white blanket.
The candle is lighted.
Oh, amo na gali, ay si Kate ko, ay si ano, oh my God. Si John, ay si Judy. The
Continue.
candle is lighted. The day of Christmas Eve brought deep snow. Icicles hung on the pine trees on the forest. Frost lay heavy upon the tiny panes of glass on the windows of the cabin. All day John Gannon kept clearing off the
Where? Pains.
panes. We must have them clear so that our candle will show, he said. All day Michael and Kate worked at cleaning the cabin. They washed the dishes and swept the floor. They polished the candlesticks. All day Judy went in and out of the cabin. The forest was to her a beautiful place, all white and silver and green. She broke little branches of the pine trees and carried them into the house. She set them around the room. She set out the candlestick for the Christmas candle. Who will light it? She asked a dozen times. Father will light it, said Michael. Perhaps Father will light it, said John. Michael and Kate kept on working. They worked through the short afternoon while John and Judy watched the trail for the first sight of their parents. They worked until it grew dark. Then Kate said to Michael, call in Judy and John. Let us watch a little longer, Judy begged.
What else?
Ay, mama, nililimutin na
Yeah. Mm. Continue, Tish.
It is time to light the candle, said Michael. Kate took the longest candle from the box where her mother put them after she had made them. She put it in the candlestick and placed the candlestick upon a small table that stood near the window. I did not want the candle lighted if father and mother are not here, said Judy. Oh, Judy, said Kate, have you forgotten what mother told us? Christ sends his messenger to us on Christmas Eve. Whoever comes to our house after the candle is lighted is the messenger of Christ. Even if we are alone, we want to light the way for Christ and his messenger. Who will light the candle? John asked. May I light it, Kate? Mother said we should choose the one to light the candle, Michael told them. I think Kate has done the most for us while Mother has been away. I choose Kate. Michael, you have done the most. Kate said, I choose you. I choose John, said Judy. He helped me climb a tree. I choose Judy, said John, because she is little. The Christ's child was little too.
Then
we all choose Judy, said Kate. Come, Judy. John took a piece of wood, lighted it in the fire, and handed it to Judy. She lifted it as Kate said, "Please, God, we burn the candle tonight to light the way for your blessed Son. May he come to us this night and every day and night of the year." Amen, said Michael and John and Judy. Judy lighted the candle for a moment. It
period
burned.
mo. Judy lighted the candle.
Judy lighted the candle for a moment. It burned very slowly. Then the flame lifted bright and clear. "Oh, little baby Jesus," said Judy, "bring my father and mother home tonight." Amen, said Michael and Kate and John. The candle in the window. After supper, Kate tried to play a game with John and Judy while Michael lay on the floor near the fire and read a book. They all grew very
Very tired
tired,
and
but no one wanted to go to bed. The candle still burned at the window. "How can we get to Mass tomorrow?" John asked. "I do not know," said Kate. "Let's go to bed now and get up very early in the morning. Then we shall know what to do." "Let us stay up a little longer," John and Judy begged. "Let us stay up until midnight. Then we can sing Christmas hymns.
where? Hymns.
Hymns. We can join that with the angels, and the Christ child will hear us." "You must go to bed now," Kate said. Michael rose from the floor. "Listen," he said. "Someone is coming. I hear a sound." He moved toward the door. "His mother," cried Judy. "It is father," cried John. They rushed past Michael and opened the doors. Someone was standing outside in the light from the Christmas candle. They saw him. He was not their father. He was a tall man all alone. His face was blue with cold. His fur cap was covered with
Frost. White frost.
white frost.
He stomped.
Ooh. He stamped his feet to warm them as he stood before the door. "May I come in?" he asked the children. "Yes, sir," said Michael. "God come with you," said Kate, as she had heard her mother say on other Christmas Eves. "God bless all here," said the man, as he came into the cabin. The children stood back as the visitor moved toward the fire. "Are you children alone?" he asked them. "Our father was hurt at at the trading post," said Michael. "Our mother was called to nurse him. She planned to be back with us tonight." "They have not come," said Kate. "It is bad traveling on the roads and trails," the old man said. "I lost my horse, then I lost my way. It was fortunate that I saw your candle. It lighted me up the trail." "Did the Christ child send you?" Judy asked. "Are you his messenger?" "I tried to be his messenger," said the man. "You are Catholics, are you not?" "Yes, sir," they all said. "Then you will understand what I mean." He said, "I am Father Gritton, the priest from Maryland." Oh.
The priest
Siya
swiftly.
ning priest ang Banila nga sa may mass. Swiftly, Kate went up upon her knees, almost went down upon her knees, almost as swiftly. Michael knelt. John and Judy knelt too, while the priest lifted his hand in blessing over all of them. "Father, may I take your coat?" said Kate as she arose. "First, tell me, child, do you get to Loyal Hannah for Mass on Christmas morning?" He said. "We walked to Mr. Walker's house 4 miles away. He will take us all in the big sleigh to Loyal Hannah, where the people will be waiting for you," Kate said. "Will you ride in the sleigh too, Father?" asked John. Thank you, my boy," said the priest. "I shall be happy to go with you."
Hurry up because it's nearly done.
Patibok.
May I
"May
walk
I
with
walk with you
you?
to Mr. Walker's?" Michael asked. "Of course, how good you are." Are you all planning to walk the 4 miles through the snow? The priest asked them. Yes, Father, there is no other way, said Kate. God bless you, he said. He gave his coat to Kate. Michael pulled out the bench. Will you not sit down, Father? He said. What are your names? The priest asked as he took his place before the fire. As they told him, the priest spoke the meaning of the names: Michael for Blessed Michael, Kate for Catherine, great daughter of the church, John for the apostle, Jesus loved the best, Judy for Judith, who who served God and country. Before he had finished, Kate thought of food. She moved toward the cupboard where they kept it, but Father Greeton stopped her. It is near midnight, he said. I have just been thinking that I could say one of my Christmas masses here at midnight in your cabin. You children know, he went on, that on Christmas a priest may say not one mass only but three masses in the morning. I will say the other two at Loyal Hannah. Can you serve as my altar boy, Michael? I can try, Father said Michael. Will you,
If
if you
you
will tell me what to do, Father said Kate, I will make everything ready. We will use the table for the altar. Father Gitton said, let me help. Father said to Michael said to Kate. La, tinagkan ba ako, no?
continue, they were
They
all
will they
busy.
were all busy setting back the table against the wall when Judy heard the faint sound of sleigh bells. Then suddenly
The door.
the door flew open. A woman with many boxes and bundles stood in the light from the cabin. Beside her stood a man. Father, cried Judy. Mother, she ran across the room to them. With her came the other children. Father, mother, they shouted. Christmas had come to the cabin. Merry Christmas, cried Patrick Gannon. Merry Christmas, children, said their mother, and it is a Merry Christmas because your father is much better now. Did the angels
Where's the word
bring
now? Much better.
better? Did the angels bring you? Judy asked. We came with some people who are driving to Loyalhana for Mass in the morning, her father said. They drove us to the foot of the trail. Then he saw Father Gritton. Father, he cried. He and his wife knelt before the priest as the children had knelt. God sent you to be with our little ones, they said as they arose.
The cries.
The Christ child sent him, said Judy. The Christ child showed him our Christmas candle. I knew he would send someone. He always does. For a moment, she watched, as did Kate and Michael and John, the boxes
And
and
bundle.
bundles which their mother had carried up the trail. Judy knew that there must be many gifts for all them. There would be, she was sure, a book for Michael, a knife for John, a doll for herself. She could almost see the bright color of the red
Show.
show for Kate. Best of all, her father and mother were at home, safe on this Christmas Eve, and Father
Father
Gritton was
Griton.
about to say the midnight mass here in their cabin.
All
Oh, glory
glory.
to Almighty God on this Christmas morning, Patrick Gannon said. Oh, glory, said Father Gritton. As
Why
he,
is that? There's no such thing as
ugay,
father.
uging
Then
kakas ko
nagumimo.
nga
Alang.
Abigay ang Father
As
Gritton.
he put
As he put on his vestments, he moved before the table that was to be the altar. Kate brought the candles, the one from the shelf over the fireplace and the one from the table near the window. Mrs. Gannon turned the pages of her worn prayer book, the King of Peace. She read, is greater than all the kings of the whole earth, and he became man, said Father Giton as he genuflected during the credo. As he read the light of the fire and the candles grew brighter, even the icy trees outside seemed to lift their voices to God. The children thought as they joined in the first Mass of Christmas Day. In a little while, they would be singing Christmas hymns,
And
and
all
all
the
the world
world
would
will
be
be.
singing with them. Now, even the Mass at Loyal Hannah, with all the people around them, would be as beautiful as this midnight Mass in their mountain cabin.
Very good. So what you're gonna do next?
We're not done yet.
Read the poem Christmas Morning. Page
No mo,
253
we're
to
not done yet
54.
mo. Oh, making a
No,
Christmas play.
there's no question like that here. Christmas Morning.
Basahan pala na kasi part yun na may ano sa, may ganon sa.
This is you're gonna make your own Christmas play if you're in the school. You have to do this.
Homeschool ko nga, amay.
Wala na gani na. Oh, Christmas Morning. Read the poem Christmas Morning.
Wait lang, sabi ng book. Laba.
Christmas Morning.
Christmas morning in Bethlehem. If Bethlehem were here today, or this were very long ago, there wouldn't be a winter time nor any colder snow. I'd run out through the garden gate and down along the pasture walk, and off beside the cattle barns I'd hear a kind of gentle talk. I'd move the heavy iron chain and pull away the wooden pin. I'd push the door a little bit and tiptoe very softly in. The pigeons and the yellow hens and all the cows would stand away. Their eyes would open wide to see a lady in the manger hay.
Then another poem, A Boat for the General, page 255 to 256.
If this were very long ago, and Bethlehem were here today, and mother held my hand and smiled, I mean the lady would, and she would take the woolly blankets off her little boy so I could see. His shut up eyes would be asleep, and he would look like our John, and he would be all crumpled too, and have a pinkish color on. I'd watch his breath go in and out. His little clothes would be little white.
Would be all white.
I'd slip my finger in his hand to feel how he would hold it. He could hold it tight, and she would smile and say, "Take care." The mother Mary would take care, and I would kiss his little hand and touch his hair, while Mary put the blankets back. The gentle talk would soon begin, and when I tiptoe softly out, I'd meet the wise men going in. Elizabeth Maddox Roberts. I'll be back on it.
Next day na, A Boat for the General. We're gonna read this.
Bitaw pa sa ano ba ti ako sa
Pero sa
matgatan ako to. Yung music pang iya. Ano?
may sa pungko na ni.
Stuck pa siya.
Come here, Tish. Quit wasting time. I mean, sit down on it for a while. I'm just gonna go up.
Hey. Sa bangs na niya ginakis kining ko. Naguba ko. Sa likod wala. Beyond the
Come here na. We have to study science after this. Come here. This one, a boat for the general. Tish ka ba, tika Tish?
Tabla.
Maling na yun. A boat for the general. Damo to. Hindi na to. 255.
For the general. For the general.
Dito nga lang.
Oh,
sige na. A boat for the general. Basa na.
Asan sa din?
I don't know. Basa na. The Delaware River.
7.
Sige na. 266. Skatuloy lang ko. Basa. The Delaware River.
The Delaware River was filled with danger or on the Christmas night when young Patrick tried to find a boat for the general.
A boat for the general.
The Delaware River was filled with danger on the Christmas night when young Patrick tried to find a boat for the general, the boy at the ferry. I'm gonna go na ano sa na
Continue. On that Christmas morning.
On that Christmas morning, young Patrick served the Father Farmer's Mass at the settlement near the ferry on the Delaware River. There were only a few people at Mass, old men and the women and children. All the younger men were soldiers in General Washington's army in camp near Philadelphia. Times were bad for the Americans. The British soldiers were camped across the Delaware. General Washington had moved these soldiers into Pennsylvania, but Philadelphia was in danger. The British, in great numbers, who would cross the Delaware on the ice as soon as the river froze. They would win the war and freedom would be lost. Patrick knew this will because his grandfather, Old Patrick, often talked of what might happen. Old Patrick was the man who ran the ferry across the river. He knew many of the soldiers. He even knew General Washington, God bless and save him. He always said when he spoke of him, may the good Lord help him to win our freedom. Naog mo yun sa no?
Hindi na paglaway, damak. Continue. Young Patrick
Young Patrick thought of his grandfather's words. As he came out from the little store where mass had been said, the river was not yet frozen, but it was thick with ice. If the cold grew greater and the ice became solid, the British would be able to cross on it. Then what would become the people of all the 13 colonies? Father Farmer had already gone back to Philadelphia, but a few old men and some of the women stood outside the store. One of the men asked Patrick, "Where is your grandfather?" "I do not know," the boy said. "A messenger came for him in the night." "Then you are alone," one of the women asked. "Will you not come home with us and share the dinner we have? This is Christmas, and the boy should not be alone." "Thank you," Patrick said, "but my grandfather will be coming home, and he may need me." There was only little food. There was little food in the house. He knew, and he was not sure when old Patrick would return. But he knew that something important might soon happen, and if it did, his grandfather might need him. "Keep close," old Patrick had told him the day before. "I do not know when I may need a boy for a man's errand. I can do any errand you give me, grandfather," young Patrick said. "Dinaiyak kami yaman." "We'll see," said old Patrick. Through the afternoon, the boy waited alone in the quiet house. The cold grew greater, and he sometimes opened the door to see if the river were frozen. It was not yet solid, but great cakes of ice were peeling up in it. Piling up in it. The British will soon be coming, young Patrick thought. It was almost dark when his grandfather came home. The boy started to heat some soup in the kettle over the fire, but the old man stopped him. "I have no time for food," he said. "Tonight is the night, lad." "For what?" the boy asked. "Can you keep a secret?" Old Patrick asked, then gave his own answer. "You have always done what I told you. You will do it now." He rubbed his hands and stamped his feet to make himself warmer. "General Washington will cross the river," he said. "Tonight," the boy cried. "Tonight. He is going to surprise the British soldiers. This is this is his only chance. If we can win the battle tonight, he we may save Philadelphia and our freedom. If he does not, he will win," said young Patrick. "Are you going to take him over the river?" "No." Shabu na gumang. The old man said, "Last night I took him in the in my ferry so that he could see the best place for landing the troops on the other side. Tonight he will cross the river with his soldiers. I have been gathering the boats for them. There are still many to find. You can help me, lad." "For the general," young Patrick cried. "For General Washington, for him or his man," old Patrick answered. He found a piece of paper and began to mark it with a coal. "We have hidden many boats here," he said, pointing to a spot on the map he drew. "Friends will bring some rafts from Philadelphia, but we need more boats if we are to carry all of the general's man. I can get some. You will help me find more." "A boat?" the boy cried. A boat for a boat that General Washington can use for himself? I know where there is a boat like that. It is a fine, grand boat." The old man looked surprised. "Where is it?" "Down the rivers." "I know the place," answered the boy eagerly. "Who owns it?" asked his grandfather. "Robert Wilson," the boy replied. "The boat belongs to Robert's uncle," said old Patrick. "No, sir," said young Patrick. "The boat is Robert's. It was his father's boat. His father left it to him. His uncle uses it, and his uncle is for the British," said the grandfather. "But Robert owns the boat, and he is not for the British. He has told me so," said young Patrick. "It is a big boat, lad. bigger than you can handle, sighed the old man. Robert will help me. Where shall we bring it, sir? asked the boy. If you can get it and handle it, bring it to the old ferry landing. You'll have to work fast. We must cross the river before the British can find out what we plan. Be careful, lad, warned old Patrick. I shall, sir, promised the boy. God speed you, the old man said.
Patrick's errand.
Patrick's and snow was falling as young Patrick ran down the road beside the river. As he went, he looked sharply and saw some of the boats old Patrick had found. There were not many of them, the boy saw, and he wondered if General Washington would be able to win a battle with a few men he
With the
with
with
the
the
few men he could take across the river. He would need every boat they could find, and for himself, the general would need the strongest boat of all. That meant the boat Robert Wilson owned. It was the best boat on the river, Mama. Katulungan ko.
Karoon ng twinkle after.
Okay, thank you.
Robert.
Robert, like young Patrick, was an orphan. Oh, okay. He lived with his uncle, but the house and everything in it was Robert's. The boy was older, bigger and stronger than young Patrick.
Just like last one, then we're gonna end the stream.
With him, the boy would be able to take the boat to the old ferry landing. It would wait for General Washington. The snow beat harder against the boy as he left the village. The houses were few and darkness was coming. He tried to run, but his boots were wet and heavy. Sometimes he saw men coming on the road and he hid until they had passed. He dared not meet them if they were friendly to the British. Darkness was all around him. When he came to the Wilson house, there was one light there in the room he knew to be the kitchen. He moved toward it carefully. Then he
Whistled.
whistled the call he used for Robert. In a moment, the kitchen door opened and Robert stood in the light. Are you alone? Patrick asked him in a low voice. No one is with me, said Robert. My uncle has gone to Philadelphia. He seemed to find it hard to move. Come in, he told Patrick. May we use your boat tonight? Patrick asked him. My boat tonight for what? Robert questioned. You want freedom, do you not? I do, said Robert. But what has my boat to do with it? You will tell no one, promise? I promise, but why? Said Robert again. General
Bindang
Washington
said,
asked Robert again. General Washington will take his troops across the river tonight. He will fight the British in Trenton. He needs every boat he can get. He needs yours, begged Patrick. He can have it. Robert Wilson's face grew bright. But how can you get it to him? You and I can take it to the old ferry landing. He will come there, explained young Patrick. You will have to take it alone, Patrick. Robert Wilson said, you will not help me, said Patrick sadly.
ask.
Asked Patrick sadly. I cannot. I fell yesterday and hurt my back so badly I can hardly move. That is why I did not go to Philadelphia. You may use the boat, but I cannot go with you, replied Robert. For a moment, young Patrick stood silent. How could he take out this big boat and steer it through the ice of the river? With Robert's help, it could be done, but how could the boy alone get the boat out into the water? You mean you cannot help me? He asked Robert. I wish I could, the older boy said. I cannot even walk to the shore with you. Sadly, young Patrick walked to the shore where the boat rested. It was a big boat and it looked twice its size now. How could he push it down into the icy water? And how could he row it through the ice
Ice
of
of
the
the
river?
river.
God help me, he prayed. Show me a way to do what I must do. Danger
Danger
on
on
the
the
river.
river.
The boat seemed frozen on the sand. Patrick dared not build a fire near it. He had to push and pull. The snow came down heavier. Every pull grew harder. Would he ever be able to move the boat?
At last,
At last it gave way a little, then a little more. He worked harder and harder. The boat moved near the water. Then, with his body acting with pain,
aching with
aching with
pain.
pain, young Patrick gathered all his strength and pushed the heavy boat into the river. He found his way to the oars and took one in each hand. He had never known before how big they were. They were so heavy that he could hardly move them. His arms ached, his shoulders ached, his back ached, but he kept on trying. The boat moved a little out from the shore, and all around it floated the cakes of ice. Some of them, which had not looked large from the shore, looked huge from the boat.
How would
How
he?
would he be able to get around them when he had no one to steer? Little by little, the boat moved. It was a good boat. Young Patrick had been right in saying it was one of the best on the river. But it was a heavy boat, and the boy sometimes felt that he was not moving it. Every little while, a great cake of ice bumped
The boat.
against the boat and almost wrecked it. Young Patrick could swim, but he knew he would not be able to swim in the icy water. If the boat turned over, he was lost. His hands grew so cold that he could hardly move the oars. He told himself that he must be brave. Sometimes he thought he did not move the boat at all. Other times he thought that he moved it a little. Once in a while he heard sounds on the shore, but once in a while he heard
But
but but
he
he dared
dared
not
not
cry
cry out.
out. If any friend of the British heard him, his errand would fail. He could not cry for help. He must go on as long as he could. One of the oars slipped from his hand, but he caught it in time. It had been it
If
if it had been lost, he would have no chance to move the boat. General Washington needed his boat for the crossing of the river. God, please help me.
God,
God help me. Young Patrick kept praying. God help our country. Help us to win our freedom. Help us this Christmas night. Sleet and snow fell over him. Fell
fell
around
around
him
him.
on the boat.
You're creating your own words.
Imi, umbot yay on the
River
river ice,
ice,
and
and
most of all on his wet clothing. It froze on his cheeks and his hands. His teeth chattered with the cold. The oars grew so heavy that he could hardly lift them. He grew sleepy, but he knew he must not close his eyes. If I sleep, I die, he thought. But his head dropped and his
drooped
drooped and his eyes closed. Then an oar slipped from his hand. He did not hear the sound of the other oars
of other.
of other oars in the water. He did not see the man who leaped from another boat and set back the oar that had slipped. He did not know that they brought him to the shore at the old ferry landing. His grandfather was standing near him when he awoke.
You
You
brought it,
you
lad.
brought lad, old Patrick said, but how did you bring it alone on such a night? A tall man in uniform stood beside old Patrick. You are a brave boy, the tall man said. Thank you for my lad. Thank you, my lad. Ready, General, asked old Patrick. The tall man moved toward the boat. Other men joined him and crowded into it. Two men took the oars, and the boat moved into the water, out among the great white cakes of ice. Ano ha?
May nagbulig siya yan.
Si Washington na go.
Nalipong sa.
Washington na
No,
yun.
see, General
General Washington
Washington.
stood in the boat as it drew away. He was looking across the river, thinking perhaps of the battle he must give the British. Once and only once he turned back, he waved to old Patrick and young Patrick. God save him, old Patrick said. God save him, said young Patrick. He was no longer tired and cold. He had forgotten the ache in his arms, in his shoulders, in his back. All he remembered was that he had helped the general when the general had needed that help. I'm in General Washington's army, he told his grandfather. I think old Patrick said that you are in his navy. They watched the boat go toward Trenton, and the victory that would help to win freedom for
Would
the
help
would help
to
to
win
win
freedom
freedom for
for
the
the land
land
they
they
love.
loved. Loved.
Oh,
Mama,
hello, sis. Cooking with Miss Brown.
Mama, touch
Thank
be
you so
hair ko
much
ba
for
yung akong
dropping
basa?
by.
Mm.
I'm gonna make you one of the moderators because I cleaned up last time.
Ma,
Wait.
wala mo ginpin, ma.
Oops, what happened? Oh, because there's an ad. Let me fix this one. Get your mathematics for one, Tish.
Oh, my eye is broken.
I think my laptop had hung up.
Lobat. Daan na siya mo. 1,000 minus 100. 0. 10. 900. Yung answer 100. 900 plus L 50 X and plus 10.
Your videos. Okay, sis, no worries, because I'll be ending my stream also. Thank you so much for dropping by.
We stay strong, the after family.
So thank you so much all for watching Team Goodman and the Team Goodman Pamilya channel members, the Team Goodman Tatay members. Thank you so much. Sis Jen, have a blessed day, Sis Jen. We miss you into the stream. And I hope you
Wala man.
this one.
Wala man ah.
Naghanga ang akong laptop.
Kami mo nagahang. Me, 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 me.